Welcome back to game number 2 of Team DK versus CDEC. CDEC taking game 1 pretty damn easily. DK, well, they had an okay start, right? You can say that much about them. They had an okay start. OD was farmed. Too bad they just threw it all away with some bad team fights. So hopefully game number 2 will go a little bit smoothly for them, as game number 1 was sure as hell some rough riding. We've got a draft.
Team DK's turn to bat.
I'm so good at transitions, guys. We've got a draft. Skywrath Mage and Clockwork. Well, there's a classic combination if I've ever seen one. They also managed to take away the Skywrath Mage away from the Faces Void. So Skywrath Mage and Clockwork is a pretty potent combination, because if you look at the AoE, you look at the opening inside of the cogs, it just happens to be pretty much the same little AoE of the Mystic Flare. So it's a beautiful setup for that ability, guaranteeing you kind of a free pick-off oftentimes. CDEC, meanwhile, they went with the Faces Void, now going to pair it up with the Ancient Apparition, which means that we're going to be having, well, I actually feel like that the Ancient Apparition is more likely to be a one position when you're running an Ancient Apparition like this. Because if you're able to farm up a quick Mask of Madness
reserve time
with the Chronosphere and the Ice Blast combo, it means you can pretty much kill anybody solo as a Faceless Void. All you have to do is set up the Ice Blast ahead of time to have it fly in. You jump in, hit the Chronosphere, and the Mask of Madness will give you enough damage. You'll beat through that hero pretty quickly, and the Ice Blast is just that extra tipping point, that extra bit of damage that is required to finish off that hero. So you actually don't need a whole lot of extra damage. Really, you just need that extra attack speed for the Faceless Void, and you can start soloing heroes going around the map, finding those pickoffs. So I feel like it's a bit more likely we're going to see a one-position Faceless Void here, though the trend for this current meta has been offlane Void over many others. And I do agree that I feel like the offlane Faceless Void is a lot more viable just in this one specific 1-2 start. I don't think there's any other support or any other pickup that would make me lean towards a one-position Faceless Void like the Ancient Apparition does. Second set of bans, though, we have a Lich and a Viper. Going to be banned away by Team DK, while the Razor and Vengeful Spirit, two of the best counters, right? The Razor are exceptionally good versus the Faceless Void. If you can get off your static link before he actually gets off his Chronosphere, really good way to be able to mitigate the damage coming out from the Faceless Void and give you the opportunity to turn the team fight around. And then, of course, the Vengeful Spirit swap being one of the best instant long-range abilities to counter the Faceless Void Chronosphere and whoever he's going on. Ogre Magi now going to be picked up by CDEC.
10 seconds remaining.
As didn't work out so well for Team DK in game number 1, though. I can't really say it's the Ogre Magi's fault, as it just seemed to be
reserve time.
It wasn't the hero pick's fault, that's for sure. Ogre Magi still definitely one of the most viable supports in the current pool, and it's going to work very, very well. This is leaning me even more towards that one-position Faceless Void, as the extra attack speed from the Bloodlust
team pick
will be a big buff for the Faceless Void even early on. That World Devourer going to be picked up once again here for Team DK, so despite a pretty bad result in game number 1. Well, the OD had a really good laning phase, you can give him that much, but the game as a whole went against DK pretty badly. So kind of surprised to see that they're still going to go for some of the same key heroes.
5 seconds remaining.
But we'll see what they end up. Maybe it's going to be a strange change up of strategy. Maybe they'll get something that is a bit more aggressive. Maybe they'll ban out the Undying as that last ban, because that certainly did a lot of work, even though CDEC don't actually have a room for an Undying. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Troll Warlord, hey, incentive for days now for this Faceless Void as a one position, because you've got the Bloodlust, you've got the Troll Warlord ultimate now, you've got all the attack speed things, and really that's what all that Faceless Void needs early on. It's why Mask of Madness is the go-to item for Faceless Void 9 times out of 10. Occasionally you'll see a Battle Fury build, though I highly disagree with it. But I feel like that's the reason
Reserve
Mask of
time.
Mana is so popular, because the damage, you don't really need any extra physical damage on a Faceless Void early on. You can go for just Mask of Mana straight into the BKB, and that is enough, because the attack speed,
Radiant team back.
having the extra chances to proc those time lock, the extra time lock damage, is the most important thing. It's like he's like a melee version of Sniper in that attack speed is the most important thing, because it's your passive that gives you damage, not
10
necessarily
seconds
your
remaining.
base attack. And especially inside of that Chronosphere, where that 70 damage
seconds remaining.
from time lock turns into 140. Pretty insane.
Reserve time.
Pretty insane amount of magic damage. Sand King is going to be picked up now for the side of Team DK. So getting a very nice team fight support here, a good counter initiator to the Faceless Void's Chronosphere jump in. We do have two different BKB heroes, though. Both Faceless Void and Troll Warlord should be going for BKBs as about the 25 to 35 minute mark, depending on how well they farm. They both get like a basic stat item or two, like they get upgraded boots. Troll Warlord may end up going for an SNY before his BKB, or maybe he just goes for drums and maybe a Yasha before going for the BKB. But either way, they both
Team
the Faceless Void as well as the
DK's
Troll
turn to
Warlord
bat.
will pick up a BKB, at least should anyway, as one of their main core items. The Wraith King going to be banned out by CDEC. Yeah, probably one of the most obnoxious carries to run when I think you're not really seeing
10
much
seconds
one position Wraith King. And the main reason is
5
because you're not seeing
seconds
much
remaining.
one position Faceless Void anymore. He's one of the best carries to go up against a Faceless Void.
Reserve time.
At the same time, I feel like he's actually one of the worst melee carries out there. He for me, I never want to see a one position Wraith King unless it's up against a Faceless Void or maybe some other specific pick. Now just waiting on the last ban here from Team DK. They're going to take away the Slark. So they actually feel this is still going to be an off-lane Faceless Void. And they're going to run themselves a Slark. I feel like a Slark would be a bit greedy for them. If they wanted to run the off-lane Faceless Void, I suppose you can run the Slark pretty aggressively, but I would want to see something even more aggressive. Like, I know it's banned out, but something on the range of like a Centaur. You know, a Centaur farming up the safe lane. Something that China has been doing quite a lot here, and maybe this is something
Team
similar. The
DK
Mirana is sure as hell
turn to pick.
an aggressive mid-game oriented hero and can buy the Faceless Void a lot of time later on. This is also a possibility that they could be running dual lanes here. The Ogre Magi Mirana as a dual off lane, the Ancient Apparition babysitting the Faceless Void in the safe lane, then in the Troll in the mid. Two different opportunities. Faceless Void off lane or dual lanes, I think, are your two different
10
go-tos
seconds
for
remaining.
CDEC. DK, meanwhile, they have yet to pick up their
5
carry.
seconds remaining.
And what's really left in the pool? Against this lineup, man,
Reserve time.
it's really tough to say, because one of the carries that I'm actually immediately lead into is Lifestealer, right? Lifestealer is really good with Clockwork as well as Sand King. He can deal with a lot of early fights due to his magic immunity. The problem is you have a heavy amount of physical damage
10
and
seconds
lockdown between the
remaining.
Troll and the Faceless Void. So I don't think Lifestealer was really viable there, though he did have some good synergy within his own team. Instead, they're going to go for the Spectre, which I feel is what I would have called second there, is that you need something tanky, right? You can't afford to go for some squishy agility carry. You got to go, while Spectre is agility, she's one of the tankiest carries out there. So Spectre as the last pickup here, which means they have better late game. If they are on an even gold path with the side of CDEC, DK
Prepare
have the
for
better late
battle.
game. Between the OD plus the Spectre, they've got decent backup in some of their disablers. But I think this is a lineup CDEC are going to be starting out the laning phase strong and really building from there. And I'm thinking we're going to be seeing that the dual lane that I was talking about earlier, but We'll see. They could also run an aggro try. Seeing that the Spectre was picked up, this gives you an opportunity because Spectre is one of the worst carries when it comes to laning presence, right? Spectre is pretty garbage. The biggest contribution she has to early fights is the Spectral Dagger, which is a really weak, exceptionally weak nuke and an even weaker slow. Right, it's pretty garbage all around, especially at around level 1, level 2. So, to abuse the fact that they're running a very weak laning carry like this, they could run an aggro try, which it looks like that's exactly what they want to do with CDEC, the Ancient Apparition, and Ogre Magi babysitting the Marana. What they don't realize, or at least not yet anyway, is that DK are dodging the aggro try by running an aggressive tri lane of their own, going to be faced up against the Faceless Void. Now, this shouldn't really be a problem. The two supports can just rotate down to the bottom lane. They can leave Marana as the solo up against a Clockwork. That's a pretty favorable matchup, and I think they can still win their try versus try engagement with the Faceless Void rather than the Marana. Started out, and Troll Warlord. Another one of those heroes that do pretty well against the OD. No hero, or at least very, very few heroes, can actively beat the Outworld Devourer, but there are heroes that are able to do okay, all right? And Troll is one of those heroes. His damage doesn't get decreased by the fact that OD is going to be sapping away his intelligence. He's also a very heavy hitter when he goes into melee form, so you can actually out-CS the OD in the first couple of levels. Again, as you start getting to level 4, level 5, the OD will out-CS you pretty heavily. But in the first couple of levels, Troll does all right, and he can also go into range form and really limit the OD's harassment by quite a bit. Now, 3-3 is going to be gone on here. They try and start out with the stun, but without an extra disable. Unfortunately, the Skywrath Mage, since it is the beginning of the game, does not have that early silence. Won't be able to lock down the Faceless Void for any extra time. But that is a good way to start out the lane, right? Just before the supports come in, do some damage to the carry, force him to burn through his regen. Because they're going to be facing a very, very tough lane. It's not as tough as it would have been with the Marana. Obviously, the Marana and Ancient Apparition have some natural synergy, seeing as they're both ranged heroes, and Marana has a pretty good attack animation as well, so really good opportunity to utilize that chilling touch. But Faceless Void, still not bad.
Double damage.
So as I see it, Team DK will actually lose almost every single one of their lanes. I think top lane is going to lose up against the Marana, especially with a Marana already having a Ring of Bacillus. Once you get the phase boots, you're doing a lot of harassment to that Clockwork. I can't see how he's going to be able to win that lane without some sort of overextension from the Marana. Then the mid matchup, again, the Troll is going to do well up against the OD. Even if he is only a little bit behind in CS, I still call that a win, considering this is really OD's strongest period of time until he goes into late game. And then your defensive tri-lane, which currently dealing with a double damage Sand King, not really the way you want to go, but if they ever find an opening to stun the Skywrath Mage, they can easily jump and pop that hero, especially given the distinct lack of armor that Skywrath Mage holds at level 1. Not just level 1, I think all the way up to level 4, he has absolutely no armor. He's got, well, and I say that. He does have small amounts of armor, but it's in the, I think right now he's got 0.7, so I think at level 3 he finally jumps up to above 1 armor. But yeah, only, what, 5%? 5% physical damage resistance. Early Poor Man's Shield is going to be forced to make another time leap away. But the early Poor Man's Shield and now the boots, they can start more actively harassing the Spectre whenever she comes forward for last hits. It was just that early double damage that the Sand King had. Clockwork making a rotation to try and help out CTY in this top lane area, who will be able to grab an Invis rune. Maybe he's going to turn and fight him, but realizes this is not a matchup he can win. Not up against a hero who's already at 4 minutes in, hitting for 97 damage a hit. Thanks to all those Astral Imprisonment stacks. 13-4 compared to the 19-8. Again, Troll Warlord not doing too bad. Maybe just trying to hold on, but he may be picked off here. As Black Sea makes the rotation around, and maybe just the extra bit of rocket damage is going to be enough. Maybe actually pops a potion that gets delivered in time by the courier. Nicely played by Maybe, and he's... I thought he was just going to go back to base. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, he is just going to go back to base. Thought he handed off his bottle to the courier. But a good save nonetheless. And it's a turnaround. There's the jump onto XBG. The Ogre Magi gets a stun on him, and they are quick to try and kill him, though the Ignite is not going to be enough damage by itself, and Dreamy U with some really great blocks there as the Spectre was able to keep them off of his support. But that was with the Ancient Apparition pulling. I would just think if he was there to add in that little bit of extra right-click damage, Chilling Touch, or Cold Feet, or anything there. Very, very easy kill without any chance for punishment. There's the phase boots for the Mirana, who's currently sitting at 32-10 up against the 17-3 on the clockwork. I was actually asking earlier what this guy's name to God Bless Molly, because I feel like I've asked this over and over again, how to actually say his nickname, and he didn't know, and I don't know. All I know is his name is Sun Shang. That's his actual name, so I think I may just take to calling him that, because on Join Dota we actually have him listed. I believe it's just a pronunciation of the two characters, the two Chinese characters in his name, but it's like XH. Yeah, it's XH. That's what we have it on Join Dota.
Spoiled that shot.
Not really a name I can call him. I don't know, it just doesn't work. XH. Clockwork is now level 6, so despite the fact that his lane was really tough to deal with and everything else, him picking up level 6, he can just full-on roam at this point. And that's why you're going to see the rotation from Team DK. They're going to put their Spectre in a safer lane now, give her a lot more room to farm up. As the jump on middle lane, Moonlight Shadow immediately going out, though. Troll Warlord doesn't seem to care, though. Maybe he does. The nuke comes out, and he will regret not using that Moonlight Shadow to dodge some of the damage from the Clockwork. Clockwork's still going to fall, but a 1-for-1 exchange quite favorable for Team DK as long as they still get out. CTEY with the haste rune will be able to walk himself away from the Ogre Magi. And he looked pretty confident there. Like, if he had just lit the Moonlight Shadow, put him in Viz, he maybe could have lived by decreasing some of the damage that was coming out from the Clockwork, and maybe could have survived through the OD's nuke. But he was confident enough. He wanted to take that fight. And ended up losing, giving away first blood over to the Outworld Devourer. Not the play you want to see, especially given the way that CTY was able to farm up in game number 1. Early first blood gold could be devastating. 3-3 gets pushed around, actually into the tower here, and he may, well, nice little time lock proc there. And if he was able to get a secondary one, maybe they could have forced a dive onto Black Sea, but no RNG blessing. Still, the top 2 CS on the board, being both of the CDEC boys. CTY not doing quite as well up against the Troll as he did up against the Morphling. And probably a lot of that plays into the miss percentage chance, also the early action that's happening here. XBG not quite going to get hit by the arrow, but will still be taking a lot of damage here, and maybe comes in just to finish up the kill. Garter will actually take the last hit. And this is an Ogre Magi that is already off to a much better start than Team DK's Ogre in game number 1. Black Sea going to make another rotation to try and shut down the Troll. Well, or maybe not. There he goes. Sure enough, he will be wrapping around behind the tower. Misses the hook shot entirely there, as that was way off the marker, and maybe will now pop his Invis rune to make a scouting out to see if he can find Black Sea and see what he's up to. Spectre with a early set of phase boots. May even go for like an early Ring of Aquila or Drums of Endurance as well. Those are two different pretty common stat items for Spectres, as you do need a little bit of extra stats to ensure that you survive due to any early ganks or any early team fights. But after that, then you have to make the choice whether or not you go for the full-on Radiance build or if you go for a more stat-heavy build with like a Diffusal or possibly Manta. Black Z going to be gone on here. Not really the right choice, as he tried to just wander in. Spectre is actually going to pop the ultimate here. May just be able to kill 3 through 3, but the ultimate goes out, holding Dreamy U in place. And May actually be in a lot of trouble. Gets the Spectral Dagger and goes out the cliff. No bashes coming out from Maybe in time. But 3-1, and that's a Spectre ultimate, down for the next minute and a half. Completely useless. And a really great pickoff, too, considering the, a free kill and a Clockwork. That's a lot of experience going into the Faceless Void. Who right now could use the extra levels. They make a dive here in the top lane, able to catch out. Oh, Cold Snap is going to be able to get off the epicenter, but gets hit by the arrow, and they turn this one around. The Sandstorm goes off in time. Garter in some trouble, but Cold Snap not having the health or mana to pursue. As the OD comes in, going to be trying to go for the Mirana here, who does not have a leap for another 3 seconds. 1 second, leap over the cliff. Nice turnaround there. Still going to be pursued up by Black Sea, who did have a hook shot ready to go and will catch the kill. So they dive out for a Skywrath Mage, but still give up a Mirana. Not quite worth it for CDEC. They did force a lot of rotation from Team DK, leaving this bottom tier 1 tower exposed for the taking. Mask of Madness soon up for the Faceless Void. And where's our Ancient Apparition at? He's got Ice Blast ready to go. So once they have that Mask of Madness, again, solo kill anybody. The OD, Sand King, Clockwork, I don't care who it is. As long as he gets 1, maybe 2 bashes inside that Chronosphere and they land the Ice Blast, that's a guaranteed kill.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
They do claim that bottom tier 1 tower. It's going to be picked up by Maybe, whose farm progression should be doing pretty well so far. He's died once and hasn't picked up the most CS as he was going up against an OD, but with that tower, will help him out quite a bit. Finished up his phase boots. Now going to try and chase down the Skywrath Mage. The Ice Blast over the top, and another dive onto the Skywrath Mage that may be punished here, as Maybe is going to be chased out by the Spectre. CTY holding on to his imprisonment until he sees Maybe attempt at a teleport, and will put a stop to that one. And again, DK, good job on the reactions, like just making sure that they do have their TP scrolls and respond to those dives. But CDEC, really, it's just every single time they see that squishy Skywrath Mage, they just cannot seem to contain themselves. Just like, I gotta have it. Gotta have that bounty gold, man. Black Z. Looking, making funny faces at that Ogre Magi, but not really anything he can do about it. Ooh, Cold Snap actually got hit by an Ice Blast here and is going to be dying just before he could pick up the Blink Dagger. He was so close. He was just farming up this the Blink Dagger off of this hard camp, but he couldn't quite get it in time. Bottom lane, the jump in. No Ice Blast, unfortunately, as it was already used on the Sand King, meaning the Spectre will be fine, but you can see already brought down kind of low. And I don't think he really got any time lock procs there.
Tower is under attack.
Black Z and XBG, another rough game for XBG. They're going to jump in. They don't have the Skywrath Mage ultimate, so this is not a guaranteed kill by any means. Nice you see the imprisonment. Maybe stuck inside the cogs, has nowhere to go. Black Z is still going to be gone on here as the Ice Blast. Not quite able to shatter him, but it looks like he will still die. The last hits there from the creeps, actually. And unfortunately, it looks like the OD is going to be going down as well. No escape with only 1 sliver of HP left. And the tower dives here on both sides is really what's hurting both of them. The dives on the Skywrath Mage kind of screwing CDEC, and then this dive into the middle lane on Troll Warlord. Sure, it's a big pickup, but they lost the OD in return. Not worth it. Especially as the OD was about to finish up his Force Staff. Again, can't really emphasize how critical an item that is for the Outworld Devourer. Even picking it up 2 minutes later can mean a big difference for you going into the late game. You could just farm so much more aggressively when you have the security of the Force Staff, let alone the potential of you actually getting successfully picked off and losing some of that unreliable gold. Smoke rotation in, and Mirana and Ogre Magi looking for anything they can find. If they hit a stun, they land an arrow. If they land an arrow, they land a cold feet. If they land the cold feet, they get the ice blast. So this is a very, very potent single target combination. And we'll be stumbling onto Cold Snap. Gets that stun. Ice blast goes out. Nice imprisonment. Oh, all the single target in the world. The combo not going to be good enough. Cold Snap turns this around, actually gets the stun onto the Mirana. 2 for nothing, possibly even 3s. Jirimiyu now going to try and chase down Q. The Ancient Apparition has no TP away. Oh, going to be slowed down by the Vul Assassins. Those nasty Vul Assassins could actually make the difference here. The dagger's going to come out. Ancient Apparition now done for. No teleports in, no nothing. So a 3 for as CDEC try and look for a kill, and here I'm talking about this guaranteed kill that they have from their combination, the Ogre Magi plus the arrow plus everything else, but one simple imprisonment is all it takes to intercept that combination and completely turn around the team fight. Maybe looking for a pickoff here in this middle lane. CTY, not sure how they're really going to have, well, the Ice Blast comes in. 3-3 jumps in, gets a Chronosphere from range form. Troll Warlord can join on beating on that Big Daddy. There it is. Chronosphere out. Ultimate being popped by the Troll Warlord, though he doesn't actually get in range CTY. Doesn't seem to matter. They're going to get 2 kills off that as the Clockwork tries to make his jump in. Epicenter maybe will be blown up by the double ultimates. DK still looking for an out, though. Trading 2 for 1, not the greatest exchange in the world, especially since an Epicenter was used, and they lost a Tier 1 tower in the top lane, where the Mirana, who now has a Yasha, is doing quite a lot of physical damage. They may be losing another Tier 1 tower here. Cold Snap making a very ballsy play, is going to be paying for it. Unable to get off the Sandstorm, 3-3. Gets low, but not low enough for Dreamy to pursue him out. Next up, it's going to be Gardner. Slowed down by the concussive shot. Dreamy knows he has to play around the potential of a multicast from the Ogre Magi. Doesn't want to overextend himself. And will just simply throw out a dagger. He has an ultimate soon if he goes back to base. Oh, nice. Smart play there from Gardner. Not immediately running full-on back to base like that, but staying next to the tower and getting those free bottle heals from maybe. As well as the Tranquil Boots, plus the Urn coming in, and all of a sudden, he's back to full health. There was the possibility that if he remained that low, the Spectre going back to base could pop the ultimate, jump on him, kill him with the dagger, and then jump to another hero as an escape.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Speaking of him, I haven't really looked at his build. Holding on to 1,600 gold, so not really revealing what he wants to go for just yet, and probably doesn't even know himself. Oftentimes, the Spectre build is very dependent on how the 15 to 25 minute mark works. Stun in, and oh, what a beautiful hook shot. It's locking down 2. This could be a big win for them as they finish off the Troll Warlord. Spectre coming in to be joining on that double kill. From a beautiful jump in from Black Z, locking down both the supports in the background, and another 3 for the side of Team DK, as CDEC may be giving up game number 2. As we're seeing a number of sloppy plays by them, getting caught out by Team DK. Nice arrow onto Cold Snap and the follow-up Starstorm. Good imprisonment. CTY really on the ball with this Outworld Devourer play so far. As they try and push into the Tier 1 tower, but doesn't look like it's going to be happening. 11-11, 8 minutes in, a 2,000 gold lead for CDEC right now, and a 2,000 experience lead for Team DK. So all in all, things looking quite even. Again, still kind of siding with Team DK when it comes to the late game. The Spectre OD is super powerful going into the late game, and I would say the Spectre is a slightly better carry than Faceless Void in the late game, though it is very dependent on individual play, right? And whether or not they get successful Chronospheres, whether or not the Spectre has enough gold to use those to be in the team fight, then buy back and jump in with the ultimate and be a part of the team fight again. So it's not very cut and dry, right? I would say it's like a 5% advantage for Team DK in the late game. And CTY is a big part of that. Right now he's sitting at 7,900 gold. Chronosphere are going to be locking down. Once again, the Skywrath Mage is going to fall victim to the aggression from CDEC. They just don't even care, man. The poor Skywrath Mage. Leave Skywrath alone. Actually, don't leave Skywrath Mage alone. I love playing that guy, but But that guy is a dick. Seriously. Don't press the it's in the bag. Don't press that button as him. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. It's the most obnoxious thing that can happen before the horn blows. I would rather give up first blood than hear Skywrath Mage do his taunt. Arrow comes out and will sneak onto Black Z, who will be hit by an Ice Blast and probably taken down. The extra stun, Starstorm, and all the nukes in the world. Easily enough to finish up the Clockwork. So nice play there by Sunshine. I do like the fact Clockwork went for a Blade Mail build. It's pretty necessary up against this lineup. Whoa, jump into the bottom river. Gonna be able to pop, maybe. As another fearlessly dropping double ults for the Troll Warlord. Once again, the Epicenter as well as the Skywrath Mage ultimate. But you could see why, right? An 850 gold exchange and 1,200 experience out of that one kill. And at the same time, just buys DreamyU more room to farm, and you could see he is going to be going for the Radiance build, is locking on to 3,300 gold. As long as he doesn't get picked off in the next 2 minutes, he'll have his Relic and will be well on his way to a Radiance build. How's our Faceless Void doing? He is going to be going for BKB as his next item. Not a big surprise, seeing as he's facing up against a lot of magic damage. Whether it's the disables of the Sand King or the magic damage coming out from the Outworld Devourer, BKB is a necessity, especially when you're holding onto a Mask of Madness like that. Just because you pop the Chronosphere and pop Mask of Madness doesn't mean you're safe. Clockwork's going to jump on a maybe, who's going to be dropping again. It's another ultimate being dropped from the Skywrath Mage, and he gets some sweet, sweet revenge against that nasty Troll Warlord who's been diving him so many times. DreamyU, though, is going to be caught out as the Ice Blast nails him. And bye-bye Unreliable Gold. Maybe they can punish him. If Faceless Void is going to be silenced up, do they have enough Duke damage? They do! As the bomb is dropped from Outworld Devourer. Hiroshima has nothing on CTY's ultimate. Slowdown, concussive shot, Garter. Nice 4-4, and that will be enough with the rocket, just barely snagging the Ogre Magi. A 3-for-2 exchange, with the Skywrath Mage just limping along there. Would you look at that? Actually, more gold gained on the side of... oh, that's because it didn't catch one of the kills. The initial kill on the Troll Warlord is what's missing there. That's sometimes why I don't like the team fight recap, because I know when the team fights draw out, I'm like, it's going to be an inaccurate. It's not going to include X kill, and it's just not going to give me the information I need, which at that point, let's take a look at the net worth graph instead, where you can see CDEC's lead while holding on to a small one, but has dropped down a little bit, and experience going even further into the hands of Team DK. Now, OD. Big Mama Jama here in this matchup is holding on to almost 10,000 net worth, and probably even more, well, not more importantly, but probably just as important, the fact that he's got a lot of levels. You take a look at the hero levels, he is top on the board right now, and is soon going to be level 16, meaning that level 3 Sanity's Eclipse is, again, we've already seen it. These heroes, CDEC, not very smart. I mean, they've got Ogre Magi. That guy is the epitome of an unintelligent hero, despite the fact that he's got really pretty decent intelligence gains, because he's obviously a strength caster. Jump in. Whoa, the Force Staff not quite in time, but the Epicenter maybe enough to save CTY. The arrow lands on him. He's still going to need an imprisonment on himself to save himself. He gets it off in time. Oh, just before. Now maybe he's going to feel the wrath of DK, as they may not hold as many fans as they used to with their old roster, but coming out swinging here in game number 2 up against CDEC. Already a 1-for-2 exchange. It looks like we did have the Mirana sneaking around, able to get the OD kill, and Team DK aren't able to find where he was at. But 16-17, 24 minutes in, and quite the game here for Team DK. Pretty impressed with the way they're playing this. Though a lot of it I feel like comes down to CDEC just not playing according to the pick-off potential of Team DK, knowing that the Sand King, Skywrath Mage are going to be gunning for you, maybe has been picked
Radiant's
off
top tower is under
so many times. Like, he's been targeted. Let's get this straight. Like, he's been targeted constantly by Team DK. Probably knowing that he's arguably, I say arguably now. 2 months ago, he was easily the best player on CDEC. But nowadays, arguably the best player on CDEC. They've really been targeting him quite heavily. But still, 1 and 8? Yeah, that's... I don't care how much the enemy team targets you. Unless you start out 1 versus 5 in your laning phase, you should not be dying 8 times by 24 minutes in. Black Sea gets picked off as Sun Shang able to find another with his Mirana. Doing quite a lot of work so far. Honestly, I've been pretty impressed with his Mirana play. In fact, I was impressed with his play in game number 1 as well. I felt like he was kind of like the only standout player for Team DK. The OD already has a Mystic Staff, and halfway through to that level 16. And again, look at the intelligence on the side of these heroes. The Faceless Void, the Troll Warlord, these heroes lacking in intelligence quite heavily, but it doesn't matter. If they get the pick off first on CTY, who will be finished inside of that Chronosphere. The Radiance being picked up by the Spectre is the response from Team DK. So can't forget that the OD is not the only carry on the side of Team DK. It's been a pretty quiet game all around for the Spectres so far. But now with the Radiance, things are about to get a lot louder. Jump in. Troll Warlord, going to be the target here. Popping the Blade Mail, the turnaround, all the nukes being dropped as maybe once again will fall to a very focused Team DK. Know exactly what they want out of a team fight, and that is maybe's head. Get an additional kill on the Ogre Magi in the process, and maybe just clearing enough room for a potential Roshan here. The buyback being used from the OD is a big part of that surprise. But still, they need a bit more out of this, and that's why Roshan is kind of perfect. The Ice Blast, though, may end up forcing them back. If they don't feel comfortable with this, jump in. 3-3-3 is actually going to be caught out. He does have a BKB. He's just hoping to be able to hold on to this charge, but will be forced to pop it. Doesn't want to end up dying to CTY's nukes, knowing that it's still up, and especially since he just hit level 16. But the Ice Blast did its job. Team DK not feeling comfortable going in for Roshan any longer. And Mirana, after that buyback here from the OD, he's actually dropped out on net worth. He was hitting the 10K marker and now only at 9,200 thanks to that buyback from earlier. It's now the Mirana topping out the board. Almost 11,000 net worth on him. And could be picking up a Manta here quite shortly, though I'm not a big fan of like the naked Manta on Mirana. I would like to see a better damage item, like a Mjolnir first before you go for the Manta. Roshan is going to be taken here. The Clockwork making the jump in. Black Sea trying to make the big plays. Locks him inside with the Cogs. He will fall, and Roshan will still go into the hands of CDEC. It seems Cold Snap making the jump in himself, but the double BKBs play no need to deal with the Sand King as he is quickly popped. Aegis being grabbed by Maybe, and what a turnaround. CDEC having a hard time, and we're losing this game. I would say just a minute ago, but able to force Team DK off of Roshan, then claim it for themselves, in the process get 3 different kills. Even if they do lose, the Faceless Void will claim 3. And get so much gold for the rest of their cores.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now they also take a tier 2 in the bottom lane. Mirana will grab that one. 3,000 gold. We'll see what he chooses to build in. Could have the Manta straight up, or could build into a different luxury item. Yep, there's the Manta, so I can't say I'm the biggest fan of it, but it's not that big of a deal. "29 minutes in, the experience finally in the favor of CDEC. After the last 15 minutes or so, it has been going against them. And now holding on to a 4,000 gold lead. This time, finally getting a gold lead that is a lot more significant. Let's not forget, maybe also has an Aegis as well as BKB. So maybe the time of death is over for maybe. Maybe. Only maybe, though. Dreamy trying to finish up his heart before he joins the next team fight. I'm not sure with the Aegis that they really want to go and defend this tier 2. Maybe just buy for time. If anything, I feel like this is about the time where you're going to need a smoke gank. If you see CDEC back up after this tier 2 tower push, could be a good opportunity to smoke up and go for a pickoff. If you find the troll by himself, maybe you can kill him twice. If not, any of the other members of CDEC will do just fine. Yeah, Mirana's actually not hitting that hard. Or not actually. He's got a good amount of damage. Thanks to the phase boots plus the BKB. Those both give you a good amount of extra damage. So he's not quite hitting for 200 damage a hit. Plus you add in all the extra attack speed coming in as well. Oh, what a beautiful arrow. Sunshang does it again. Dreamy will be popped as a mega kill streak being picked up by him and probably ensuring a tier 2 tower in the top lane as well. He'll keep the middle lane pushed in with his Manta Illusions and join the rest of his team top for another tower.
Dire's top tower
CDEC
is under attack.
I can't help but feeling like this is a similar story from game number 1. Team DK having a pretty strong showing in the first 15 minutes. Game 1 wasn't as good as of showing as game number 2, but I would say Team DK were actually ahead at like that 22 minute mark. They're actually, I was feeling very confident about their play and was like, I think they've got this game. But that Roshan fight completely turning things around for them. And CDEC now in complete control of this game as they're actually going to try and go for an early push uphill. Or at least until the Spectre is back. Jump into the bottom lane. Chronosphere not going to catch CTY. It's a quick blink. Very interesting item choice, but works perfectly in this occasion as he knows if he gets caused by a Chronosphere, he's dead 100%. So he's taking steps. Very expensive steps. But he's taking steps to try and avoid that Chronosphere, avoid getting caught in it. I mean, that's 2,200 gold. You would have a Scythe of Ice right now if you didn't invest into that Blink Dagger. But obviously, just dodging one Chronosphere kind of makes the Blink Dagger worth it. Between the amount of gold that you would have fed into the Faceless Void, the amount of unreliable gold you would have lost, experience, etc., just dodging one of those guaranteed kills. Blink Dagger already worked. Our Troll Warlord now has an SNY. So he now has Magic Immunity. Now he also has damage thanks to the SNY plus a little bit of extra tank. Still got the Aegis raring to go, so maybe they can go for a quick push in. So it looks like 333 is going to be going for a Maelstrom is his next item pick. Fairly common. Seeing his attack speed, again, is kind of the only thing you need early on for a Faceless Void. Dreamy you getting very close to affording that heart, though I'm not sure it's going to be enough for him at this point. Because, again, the Spectre, the heart plays really well into the Spectre for obvious reasons. If you just tank up, it means if they target you, Dispersion's going to be able to do a lot more damage to the enemy team. The longer you survive, the more Radiance you're doing, blah, 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 blah. You don't really need that much extra damage. But if you're increasing your HP with a big item like Heart, it also leaves you more susceptible to the Ice Blast. The Ice Blast is going to do the 10% or now 11% Shatter. Obviously it's a lot more effective against units with higher HP.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Dreamy is going to run into a lot of members here, immediately daggers, and is going to be holding on to the cliff here, but the Ice Blast will spend doom for Spectre. Goes down once again. Now, I'm not sure if there's really a better choice than the Heart. Butterfly still leaves you exposed to the nukes. BKB is not really an item a Spectre wants to go for most of the time, but I think this could be one of those games. You have to deal with the Ice Blast. You need to get tankier, but raw HP plays against you if you don't have magic immunity. So I think this is actually a game where maybe BKB on a Spectre. I feel like I'm kind of crazy for saying it, but if he pops a BKB before the Chronosphere comes in, that means less bash damage from the Faceless Void because his bash is magical damage. It means less, it's a physical damage bash, but a magical, it's a physical bash, but magical damage, I believe is how that works. Because you'll still get bashed, obviously, when you're BKB'd, but you won't take the extra damage. For example, Sniper, his old headshot was actually the opposite, which was, it was a magical bash and physical damage. I believe that's how that works. I don't know. The bashes are weird. But either way, like the BKB, if you get it off before the Chronosphere, even if you still get caught, the Ice Blast, the Fire Blast are going to come in from the Ogre, the Arrow that's going to be targeting you. They're like, there's actually a lot of magic damage that's going to be combined up. But I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy for saying BKB. Maybe Heart is the best route at this point. But you can still see how he can easily just be popped, even with a Heart inside of that Chronosphere, which is why this Blink Tagger is another good pickup for CTY. Not only defensively, to make sure he doesn't get caught in the Chronosphere, but to be able to make that quick reaction of blinking right next to the Chronosphere and getting an imprisonment off on that Spectre. Like the way Team DK trying to back up the OD, knowing that there's a good chance that CDEC could be making a rotation and try and gank him up or teleport into this bottom tier 1 tower. They do kill the ward that Team DK had in their own jungle, and you'll see this a lot when this ward is no longer a viable ward for you because it's probably just going to be countered the next time Team DK run over there. Throwing a ward in this area right here is fairly common. Ice Blast landing on a CTY will be caught by the Chronosphere, and the reactions from his supports are going to be too delayed, especially with the BKB being popped by 333. He'll be good. Well, Clockwork making the jump in on the Ancient Apparition. Dreamy U comes out just for this one kill, looks like, as the dagger will ensure the death of him. Actually a gem. A little bit better. Maybe is going to try and jump onto Black Sea, who pops the Ghost Scepter. The Desolator coming in from the Mirana is going to make short work of XBG as his lack of armor just gets destroyed. Now GMEU is going to be up next. Here comes the Epicenter, and the BKB fades as the Mirana, who is holding on to so much streak kill, will end up giving that kill away to the Spectre. Now they're going to jump onto Cold Snap. DreamyU still going to fall, though, as the rest of the team comes in just barely, though, as 333 survives with 90 HP. Buyback out from the Spectre. Unfortunately, he already used his ultimate, so won't be able to do anything but protect his tier 3 tower. So, pretty nasty fight. Oh, come on. I clicked the shit. I clicked it. I clicked the recap. Oh, my God. I swear to God, if there's one more Reddit thread that says that, like, oh, casters, if you missed the recap, just go down to the bottom and click the thing. We don't have that. Notice where my mouse is going. That is for Dota TV only. It's not a live feature. But please, Valve, give me a way to pull up the teamfight recap with a button. Not just make a, just pull up the last teamfight recap. That's all I need. That's all I want is a button to do that. That way, I'm not on a timer here where I have to click the button before it goes away. Because sometimes you don't want to click the button. Sometimes it's in the way. XBG, they're going to try and pop maybe here. But do they actually have enough? With the Scythe of Ice not coming in time, XBG made the jump rather than the OD. They had to have CTY beating the leader there if they wanted to be able to get the disable off on the troll before he got off his BKB. Not sure why XBG made the jump first. It felt very silly. But kind of spoiled that gank. But maybe it was a good thing it wasn't there. I mean, there was a lot of members of CDEC behind that troll warlord. In the vicinity, anyway. Arrow coming out. Not going to hit anybody. Roshan is up, and CDEC can do it really quickly. They've got great Roche-taking heroes. Even Mirana is really good when you go for a Desolator. Now the minus armor kicking into play, the extra attack speed of the Troll, the bashes from the Face's Void. These guys can probably do Roshan if they put their 3 cores inside the pit with Bloodlust on them in probably under 5 seconds. Probably under 5 seconds to take Roshan. So DK have no real room for error at this point. Moonlight Shadow, another arrow, gonna miss. Just scouting out anything they can find at this point. $40 in, 28 to 22. Alright, it's just going to be the Troll and the Mirana. Faceless Void not joining them. He wants to be the counter initiator if necessary. Cold Snap. Oh, he's going to go for it. Epicenter being popped. He's jump in. Goes for maybe. Misses the Burrow Strike as the BKBs come out. It's going to be popped by the Ice Blast plus the multicast. And our poor Skywrath Mage is going to be up next. Clockwork. Actually tried to make a jump there, but ended up getting blocked out by the Ancient. Spectre's going to pop his ultimate. Can they steal Roshan? It's a must for Dreamy U. No, unable to get it. It's maybe. Snags the Aegis, and Dreamy U going to be forced away. The Mirana's going to chase him down, though. Can he actually get this kill? If he does, it's maybe over for Team DK. Dreamy U's going to be able to get out. Clockwork not going to be as lucky, and unable to get the kill on maybe as well. So it's just going to be the OD and the Spectre. No buybacks from anybody else on the side of Team DK. Though it doesn't look like CDEC are real anxious to try and push in just yet. They feel very confident, and while I was saying Team DK had a late game advantage, I said it was a very slim one, and when you've got a 15,000 gold lead, yeah, I think that kind of offsets the power of the Spectre and OD. So, soon to be a Daedalus here for the Mirana, maybe. Wow, straight up eye of the Scotty. This guy is a big tanky beast. I can't help but feeling like Team DK, I kind of avoided this in game number 1 just because, like, okay, game number 1 was rough, and it was a rough game for supports in general. But I can't help but feeling like the supports are really the downfall here for Team DK so far. The Skywrath Mage has been dying a lot lately, both in game number 1 and game number 2. Some of it's just the natural job of the supports, but still, like, dying that many times, maybe something's a little bit wrong. Sand King missing a couple different Burrow Strike initiations now. Like, that last one was a killer. If he had been able to Burrow Strike the Troll, and I think he could have stunned the Troll before the BKB went off. Unfortunately, we didn't even get to see whether or not he could, just because he completely whiffed it. Cold Snap, Moonlight Shadow, and Cold Snap makes the blink away. Still, though, maybe look how fast this guy is. Max movement speed, Cold Snap. Trying to get away, Burrow Strike to the side, the attempted to teleport out, but the bash will come into play, followed up by a Fire Blast. And CDEC get the pick off they were looking for before they go for a straight 5-man in. Or at least I presume they're going to go for a 5-man in, though Mirana doesn't seem like she really wants to at this point. Still 35 seconds on the clock. She can get up to the top lane if they want to go 5-man in. But maybe not necessary. Maybe just buy some more time for farm. Jesus, maybe. This guy attacks so fast. With the Bloodlust, plus the Fervor Staxes, and then the Battle Trance. Getting into max attack speed. Tier 3 tower, gonna be dropping here. Well, Glyph is gonna put a hold on that. And the Sand King is back up, so Team DK. CDEC are still going to go for it here. Team DK have the opportunity to try and make a good team fight here. Locking in maybe, but he does have Aegis as well as Cheese and Black Sea. Unable to get out of that death trap he built for himself. Maybe using the BKB timing to try and beat on the melee racks, but it seems like CDEC. Backing up for a second, 2-man Burrow Strike. Nice play from Cold Snap there, and the attempt to nuke down Gardner not going to be good enough. The Spectre ultimate going out as well. 3-3-3, not throwing out the Chronosphere. He's going to lock down 2 now, as the Ice Blast over the top is going to be able to catch The Skywrath Mage, good use of the imprisonment there from CTY. Arrow locks down Dreaming You a little bit longer. CTY will also fall as maybe grabs him. And once again, CDEC just barely getting through the team fight with several members on just slivers of HP on all of them. CTY could try and blink in and get a couple of hits onto the Mirana, but it doesn't seem like he wants to make that exchange. And they're still going to go for it, maybe. Knowing that the agent's going to fall in a couple minutes, he's just going to use it, try and pressure the tier 3 tower. And could be tanky with the amount of physical damage that they have. Black Sea is here, jumps in on the Ogre. And now looking to block him in. Blade Mail going out. He's hoping Garden will turn around on him, but that's not going to be the case. Mirana's going to be up next. Unfortunately, with no Aghanims for the Clockwork, has no way to be able to catch up to that Mirana. They do at least, well, they dropped the gem, but it looks like maybe he went back in and picked it up. Yeah, that's the Ogre's gem right there. Which was actually the Ancient Apparition's gem given over to the Ogre Magi, but still, he went back in, snagged it, and got himself out. So, huge misplay from the side of Team DK, as that vision is pretty important to hold on to. They're going to go for this tier 1 middle tower. Hell, they could just backdoor it at this point if the OD wants to try and blink in and get a couple right clicks. Fortunately, it's still going to be denied by the troll before they can get there. Item-wise, Daedalus is going to be up soon for the Mirana, as his courier is bringing it to him now. We have Butterfly soon to be up for the Troll Warlord. A Mjolnir almost finished up by 333's Faceless Void. That's most of the big items. Ogre Magi will start building into. I like the Vlad's pickup before he goes in for the Aghanims. Aghanims will be the biggest upgrade between the two supports, because it doesn't seem like the Ancient Apparition is going to be able to get an Ags for himself. At least not anytime soon. Went for the 4 staff in the mech. Arrow goes out. Not able to find a mark. 46 minutes in. 37-25. CDEC on the verge of taking game 2 here. Going to try and sneak around with the Moonlight Shadow. Going in through the top lane where there are no counter wards. And they have no vision. DK could be completely surprised by this one. And it's looking back. Dreamy, you going to be targeted. Nice imprisonment reaction. And the blink away. CTY pulling out the big plays here, but is it really going to be enough? Their Spectre has already gone down. Pop the ultimate, but nothing to come of it. As the Cold Snap Sand King also going to fall. Black Sea in some trouble here as he gets bursted down. CTY dropping the bomb is going to be able to take down 2. Prisons himself to try and protect from any of the encroaching heroes. Some CDEC. They still have the big carry of maybe murking his way through. Clockwork with the buyback. They're going to try and catch whoever they can. Looks like they're going to be able to find Gardner. Prisman goes out, and the immediate silence should mean the Garter falls. Where's the silence? Skywrath Mage! Oh, no! Didn't get off the silence in time. Black Sea, they really got to make something happen here. They need pickoffs. They got to go out and look for something here. Black Sea, 11 seconds until he has his ultimate. Buyback, though, from the Mirana, and they will be forced back, though. But ultimately, this Clockwork's buyback is going to be nothing for him. Turns around, hook shots. Does what damage he can to maybe. Unfortunately, it's going to be a dieback for the Clockwork. And CTY, I got a feel for him, man. This guy is pulling out all the stops for Team DK. Game 1, he farmed up exceptionally well, even if he didn't have as many flashy plays. Game 2, though, he's had some really good reactions. Still not enough. One should expect nothing less from a legend like him. Mirana's going to be picked off here, as he was able to finish off the melee and range racks. I'm sure someone will, the illusion, something will go kill that range rack. It's at 8 health. Alright. Well, he got the melee racks, which is the more important one anyway. Shiva's finished up by OD. So a lot more intelligence. He's sitting at 203 intelligence base right now. Which means, again, heroes like Faceless Void, 54 intelligence. Troll Warlord, usually even less intelligence than the Faceless Void, but thanks to the Scotty, has a pretty big upgrade there. A lot of extra stats coming out from that, but he's sitting right now at 76. So well over a 100 intelligence difference between those two carries and the Outworld Devourer's intelligence. Meaning this ultimate is able to do upwards of 1,000 damage. Way past 1,000 damage. If he's able to, like, defend this out, maybe get a refresher, that's easily 2 nukes, maybe doing 1,500 damage each. It's pretty insane. Now, Roshan's going to be up, and CDEC will take the opportunity to claim themselves both the Aegis as well as the cheese, it seems. Though, thanks to the dire side advantage, plus having a clockwork, DK are always able to keep their eyes on the Roshan pit and have that potential response. And a big Roshan fight, a big Roshan steal could be exactly what they need, but they need quick reactions in. Clockwork Rocket will reveal it. And they're going to try and go... No, they actually... Roshan being brought down to do about half health. They back themselves up.
Incoming!
Moonlight Shadow, they are still going to go for Roshan here. The Rocket's revealing them. They need a Roshan steal so badly. Cold Snap, don't miss your BKB time this time around. Spectre Ultimate goes out. They're not actually going to try and contest. Aegis goes the way of the Mirana, and a cheese being picked up by Maybe. He gave the gem back over to the Ancient Apparition. So Team DK now have to essentially fight 5 versus 7 with the extra life on the Troll as well as the Mirana. And here comes the death push. CDEC. At 51 minutes in, this game has been drawn out quite longer than I expected, but you could see exactly, hold up, DK, they're actually going for a sneak around. They know they need something amazing to happen in this next team fight. Clockwork whiffing the hook shot, threading the needle between everyone here, and now the BKB is going off, plus CTY going to be held in place. The imprisonment goes out. Maybe he can get off his ultimate, but the Chronosphere locking him down. CTY will be targeted. He does have a buyback, but it seems like his whole entire team is going to fall. Spectre to buyback, Cold Snap as well, the Sand King, and now the OD. 3 heroes versus the world. CDEC come in, ultimate being dropped, but 333 with the backtrack. It's going to survive. Cold Snap's going to go down. Dreamy U now focusing on the Maybe. They do have a side device coming up soon, but it's not going to be soon enough to save Dreamy U, and with all the other heroes down, CTY, he has been a godsend for Team DK so far in keeping the hopes alive here in game number 2, but it's not going to be enough, as that last team fight devastates the lineup of Team DK, and CDEC will successfully knock Team DK out of the G League in this best-of-3 single elimination tournament, and will be moving on to round 2 with a 2-0 victory. So CDEC still looking strong, even if they had a bit more troubles here going into game number 2. Had a few mistakes, maybe certainly being targeted and picked off a number of times. But remember, he was what, 1-8? He finally picked up his BKB, and he went on to go 11-9. It goes to show, like, once he had that BKB, everything changed around for him because he was constantly being susceptible to the Clockwork hookshot into the Skywrath Mage ultimate. But as soon as he has that BKB, he can actually survive through that, and magic damage was his biggest issue. But at the moment he had that BKB, only died once more, and that was like 25 minutes, and he only died once. Still well done by CDEC. They'll be moving on to round 2 of the G League, where they will be facing up against Speed Gaming. Speed Gaming, who beat LV Gaming, which was, in my mind, quite the big upset. Speed Gaming were really just being trounced by all the Tier 1 and most of the Tier 2 teams in China. So for them to pull out a win up against LV Gaming, who are a really good Tier 2 team, was quite the upset. So CDEC are going to be facing up against them, and IG will face up against LGD in the second round. Unfortunate that those two teams have to face up against each other in round 2 rather than the finals, potentially, because it sucks to see 2 Tier 1 teams so early on. But those are the next two games coming up in G League. And for now, guys, that is going to be entirely it. We're still going to keep the stream going. I'm actually going to drop it for a minute, but we'll be coming back with some personal streaming. I'm going to do some solo queue matchmaking. Might as well, since I'm already in the office. So if you guys want to stick around that, appreciate it. If not, we'll catch you guys next time on the live stream.